We're going to take a quick look at how retail changed during the recession. In particular, we're going to look at Region 10 from 2003 to 2011. Region 10 is the southeastern Minnesota area. Basically, you're looking at going from about the Albert Lea area up into Rice County with Faribault, over into Red Wing and Goodhue County, and down into Houston County in the southeast corner of the state. First of all, we're going to take a look at the big picture. And we're only going to be looking at retail. These are businesses that are retail stores, not service stores. So it's not including restaurants, but it is including things like shoe stores and general merchandise stores and big box stores. All those are included in this as we look at the numbers. When we take a look at the total taxable sales that occurred in Region 10 from 2003 to 2011, you can see the trend that we had. Basically, 2003 was a little bit lower. But you take a look at 2004, 5, 7, and 8, and they were all pretty level. All of a sudden we had the drop that occurred in 2009. Basically we lost almost $100 million. Then it started climbing back up in 2010 and basically came back to about the same level as what we had in 2008 when we reached 2011. These are not adjusted for inflation. So you can see where, what years were the greatest effect? It was 2009 and recovery a little bit in 2010. But let's take a look at the various sectors to see if there's some differences that might be outside of what we saw for the total. These are the big three. All these scales are the same. The top number on the left-hand side is $500 million, and we're looking at the retail sales, the taxable sales that occurred in general merchandise, building materials, and food stores and beverage stores. That'd be grocery stores and liquor stores combined. The yellow bars are the actual millions of dollars of sales that we had. The blue line that is there corresponds to the right-hand side of the graph, and we're looking at what was the total percentage of all the retail merchandise that was in that category during that year. So you can see that general merchandise, we pretty much had some growth that was occurring between 2003 and 2011. There was a slight dip from 2008 to 2009. But you can see by the blue line that it became, even though it went down in 2009, it became a greater percentage of the total expenditures that were made within retail stores. Building materials, you can see where we really started dropping off in building materials was after 2005. We had decreases in 6, 07, 08, 09, and started recovering a little bit in 10 and 11. When you take a look at the food stores and the beverage stores, notice that those lines are pretty level all the way across. People really didn't make much change, even though their expenditures, total expenditures were down. The expenditures within food stores and beverage stores stayed pretty much the same. But you do notice that in 2009, when we take a look at the blue line as far as a percentage of the total expenditures made in retail stores, it actually became a greater percent. Well, that takes care of the big three, but let's start looking down the line for those that are a little bit smaller outside of those big three. Now, in the previous graphs, we had $500 million was the scale on the left. Now we're looking at $200 million is the top of these graphics. So you can see vehicles and parts, actually 2003 to 2007, we were having increases. But notice that it dropped in 2008 and 2009, but has regained and gone back to that same trend we were looking at. And as you look at the percentage of what people were spending in the vehicles and parts stores, it actually has been an increase except for those 2 years that had a decrease. Notice gas and convenience stores, they really took a dip after about 2005, and they've kind of stayed down there. And again, our percentages kind of stayed in that area. And then take a look at furniture. Furniture has been decreasing both in dollars and as far as a percentage of what's been sold in retail stores. The other two we'll take a look at would be electronics and health. Notice electronics, despite we were having a recession, the dollars spent there pretty much stayed even, and the percentage of what people were spending in retail stores stayed even as well. Whereas health is the smallest of the categories, but notice each year we were seeing a little bit of an increase in the millions of dollars that were being spent in health in health stores, and that line is just gradually increasing. So this gives us take a look at some of the major ones that are there. Now, the question I have, how did your county fare? If you're interested in that, we do have retail trade analysis that can look at your community and look at your county to see how you did compared to the whole Region 10. So I hope this was informational for you.